Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nazarina binti Sulaiman. I'm from Faculty of Earth Science, University Malaysia, Kelantan. I would like to present my paper entitled Seismic Facies and Geological Structure Interpretation of the A Field Malay Basin, Malaysia. The contents consist of introduction, objectives, materials and methodology, results and discussion, conclusion, acknowledgements, and references. For introduction, the seismic reflection has a major role in the world of hydrocarbon exploration. The seismic facies analysis is the interpretation of seismic reflection parameters. The structure interpretation of fault or fracture characterization is analyzed by extracting the seismic geometric attributes such as the amplitude attribute. The objective of this study are first to classify the types of seismic facies in the study area using 3D seismic dataset. The second objective is to determine the geological structure as type structural and stratigraphic tract of hydrocarbon potential. Materials and methodology. The 3D seismic dataset covering approximately 187 km per square located in the southwest Malay Basin as a figure 1. The figure after this slide will be showing the figure 1. The beam spacing of inline and coastline are 12.5 meters respectively. The vertical line used from 0 millisecond to 6,500 milliseconds to wait time. The secondary data is provided by the Petroleum Management Unit Petronas. This figure shows the figure 1 that shows the study area in the yellow box that's located at southwest Malay Basin, including the inland and coastline at the left side. Secondary data format imported into seismic computer software in the Kingdom software. The sequence boundaries were determined by the occurrence of unconfomity. The seismic facies analysis was used to determine sedimentary sequence units. Next, we will proceed to the results and discussion. 4 sequence boundaries or seismic units have been identified from the observation of the seismic facies from 2D seismic section. The amplitude attribute was used in this study. Seismic facies were described for the basin area that can be classified into several series of facies such as parallel, subparallel, wavy, and facies that reach out to southeast and chaotic seismic facies. This figure shows the inline 25827 consists of 12 kilometers length, the west and to the east, and the sequence boundary is labeling into SB1, SB2, SB3, and SB4. The seismic line was found at two-way time ranges from 0.1 second to 7.65 second. The sequence boundary SB1 with presence of top-lap terminates to the younger strata was found at two-way time ranges from 0.02 second until 0.19 second. At the 1.15 second of two-way time, another boundary which is SB2 is found. This figure shows the seismic facies in the SB2. The figure shows the sequence boundary SB2 with presence of overlap at the boundary which it terminates to the older strata. There is also mounded discontinuous with low amplitude and can be interpreted as hyper-concentrated density flows in a positional environment setting. This figure shows the seismic section, sequence boundary 3, that can be seen at two-way time 1.85 second. The sequence boundary SPG shows the presence of overlap at the boundary, which it terminates to the older strata, which is SB2. Next, we will discuss for the cross line 13994. The total is also 4 sequence boundaries were seen or determined in the cross section, in the seismic section. In this point, the obvious of top lap at SB1 at two-way time ranges from 0.1 to 0.5 seconds. It terminates at the younger strata and towards to the distant part of the line. The seismic phases were interpreted in the seismic section consist of parallel continuous, bounded discontinuous, high and low amplitude. This figure shows the whole seismic section of the crossline 13994 consists of 12 kilometers length. This figure shows the sequence boundary 1 that consists of top lap on lap of the reflection termination, and the seismic phases consists of mounted discontinuous, parallel continuous, high and low amplitude. The figure shows the sequence boundary 2 at two-way time 1.32 milliseconds. Nearby, the boundary seen and overlap termination reflection and interpreted as marine overlap. This figure shows the sequence boundary 2. The seismic phases that can be clearly seen consist of subparallel continuous, mounted discontinuous, low and high amplitude. At two-way time 3.6 milliseconds shows this all the seismic phases present nearby the boundary are downlap from two-way time 3.5 milliseconds towards the sequence boundary 4. The chaotic seismic phases pattern is clearly seen in the seismic section. This is the figure for the sequence boundary 4. Next, we will proceed with the geological structure. The interpretation of this geological structure only discusses the brief structure of the study area along the seismic survey line. The selected seismic line is located at a distance of less than 2 km between a seismic survey, which usually gives the same fault plane along the parallel line. The fault plane orientation around this study is complex, but the normal fault usually dominates the fault trend in this A field from various directions. The figure shows the occurrence of geological structure, and it can be one indicators of the hydrocarbon presence at the study area. Whereas the structure that involve the faults, the anticline and the syncline in the seismic section consists of 10 kilometers length. Conclusion: 4 sequence boundaries are recorded from 2 seismic sections obtained in the southwestern part of the basin. According to the facies analysis that had been done and geological structure that presents at the field, this field have a potential hydrocarbon. In addition, according to the presence of chaotic reflectors, it may be also associated with the gas at the field or study area. We would like to thank National Berhad Petronas for providing the 3D seismic dataset. Special thanks to the University Malaysia Kelantan for giving us the fund SEG-Y grant to complete this research. These are the references that we use in this study. That's all. Thank you.